guys back. So our team concentrated on looking at alternatives for transportation. And we were kind of the fun team looking at out of the box ideas, so bear with us. But we really, so a lot of us talked to the seniors in our community, some of us talked to you guys on the board and from Interfaith, and we're gonna address an unmet need today. It doesn't necessarily have to be directly with transportation, but something that's deeply affecting our seniors. So here we go.
You're not expecting seniors to do
Hi, I'm Pat. I used to be a part of the PTA until my children grew up, and I lost that connection. I used to be able to drive to the store, but now that I don't have my license anymore, I have to take a bus. I have to walk 10 minutes to the bus, and I have to walk from the bus stop far away to the store. I used to have the independence to go see my friends and family whenever I wanted, but in order to do that, I have to get a cab because their homes are so far off the bus paths. I used to know my neighbors, but because I no longer live in my old home, I don't know my neighbors. Getting old has really brought some loneliness I wasn't expecting.
How do we bring back the connectedness to Pat? How can we develop a solution to drive away the feelings of loneliness? How can we provide more outlets for Pat to feel independent again?
What if we had the idea of being able to bring high school kids into the senior community so they weren't learning about World War II from a textbook, but they could hear about it from people who were actually there?
What if we could bring connections back to Pat, so you could have friends with common interests that can discuss topics that matter to them both?
What if I could bring my new friends to watch the Packers game?
What if I could talk to all of my new friends about ways to best use public transportation in the city, whether it be using buses, cabs, or volunteer cabs? Imagine if we were able to, starting with this community, develop an interactive network amongst our seniors to interact, collaborate, and socialize. And by doing this, get that feeling that they once had again and drive away the feeling of loneliness. What do we need to do to make sure that we get Pat's life back to life? That was what we had.
So I saw an earlier version of this, and I have to say, I didn't know what was going on. You have really cleaned up the presentation.
Yeah, so my name's Jackson. I actually went to East Terrace and spoke with the seniors. It was great. I talked about the Packers, even though I'm not a Packers fan, but they told me that I had to be if I had to be. And they were eating cake, and I'm pretty sure that there were some that want pie. So I said, oh, well, I'll talk about it. My birthday month is next month, so maybe we can get some pie. But our main focus, that we really, amongst, a lot of it was driven among the team that went to visit the seniors. There was an individual that was in our group that had to leave early today, and he asked the question to everyone he spoke with was, if you had a list of the most important things that you worry about or that you would like more, what would they be? And number one was, I wish my family would visit more. And number two was transportation. And then the underlying factor that got brought up amongst everything was, they're lonely. They don't have they are not connected to the neighbors that they have in the buildings. They're not connected to others that are in the community. There's a lot of things that they do now that are tough, that they used to do all the time. You know, if you wanted to go to Menards and get a toilet seat, you used to be able to get in a car and drive and go get them. But now it is, you are having to wait for a bus, you're going there, and then you're able to pick it up in the time. So our main objective was to try to figure out a way to develop more of a, being that it's more of an analog, non-digital, like a Facebook version off internet to interact the seniors with the community, learning about, you know, getting that knowledge that they have into the community, collaborating and cheering for their local teams together, being able to discuss ways that they use public transportation, ways that, you know, where they go to the grocery store, who they work with, who they interact with. And then also just, you know, getting life back into them and having that sense of community was one of our main initiatives with that.
You guys have questions?
And by doing that, you know, we assessed in the last part is starting with this community. But in order for a network to work, a network isn't a single source. A network is multiple sources. So where you may start with one atom and another atom, they're all just, basically it's their own thoughts, and it's what they want and their dreams. And we can sit and say, well, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. But they're the ones who know what they want. And if they're talking to each other about it, it's going to open up possibilities that we wouldn't be able to create. We create a frame, and they're the ones who put the picture in. So that's what it comes down to, is trying to develop that way, spread it from one community to the next. Next thing we know, you have a network, it starts in Wisconsin, and it could be a lot bigger than that.
So for young people, you guys really nailed it. A lot of us are taking care of our elderly parents and what have you. You really hit it. I mean, that was very powerful. From a transportation from our system standpoint, to me, this is like our marketing campaign, right? So this is it. I didn't have a picture. Did somebody videotape? Okay. I'm sitting here going, yeah. I know. But honestly, you really, that was extremely powerful, and to approach whatever solution you come up with that in mind. And we're worried about, I mean, we're the technical and all the stuff, how's this going to work, but it does come back to, hey, do you want to see a friend, and do you want to get to the Menards to get that toilet seat? Or my mom was a gardener. When she couldn't drive and she couldn't go to Stein's and pick up her plants, that was horrible. So you guys really nailed it. That's nice.
Can I make a suggestion though, so that you really nail it for some of us that fall within that age category that you're aiming at? Instead of taking school, okay, take an example from Waukesha County and put in there LIR, okay, which is a program called Learning in Retirement. Okay, because that group, as they're going to school, already are limited. LIR, learning in retirement. First of all, you can't go into their classes until after you're 55. With some of the services that we provide as far as taxi is concerned, it's 65 and so on. But you're already in that market, and incidentally, it's got a secondary dimension to it, because once you get those people that they can go to the classes with their age equivalent classmates, okay, you also already got a pool of potential volunteers to drive, okay, because what we did was initiate to take the LIR program that is centered downtown Waukesha, okay, and bring some of the instructional mods outside into the satellite communities within the county, okay? And what that did was begin to group those people who are going to be potential riders for once they lose their drivers and so on. And it's got an additional advantage, and that is that those classes are offered during the same time that the taxis provide the rides. So for those people that have to be in a ride, they're already in there. So if you just make that school age determinant, I think you've got a great idea.
Well, but the example you use, and I don't even know if you guys do It's the example of the senior sharing World War II history. We have a small program that's doing that right now. It's Living Histories. Corinne heads it up. It's a phenomenal program for students. They're high school age. It's amazing how they respond to each other. So I would say school is really important.
Absolutely.
One of the things we heard from some of the interfaith volunteers was that it felt to them like a lot of the rides they were given were for people to drive out the loneliness, more so than them actually needing a ride. Maybe they didn't need to go to the grocery store every week, but they needed to interact with those people every week. So that's where some of that is.
Well done.